It's cringe until you make it. You may have heard this term many times while you're scrolling TikTok or on Instagram, and you may wonder to yourself, what exactly does this mean? I've heard this before, cringe, making it. What's going on here? I'm gonna break that down for you with 5 key points, okay? So without further ado, we are going to break down why it is cringe until you make it. So, number 1, the first point we have to go over, okay? 90% of hometown people don't want you to win. Straight up, they don't want you to win. Why? It challenges their ego, okay? So a lot of times you may have played sports with people, you may have been in friend groups, you may have grown up with people, they may have known you your whole life. And that entire time you've known them, you have been on the same level, the same playing field, the same exact coexistence, okay? Now, after school, we're gonna use high school, you could even use college as an example. What tends to happen is people start to go their own way. You start to follow your path, you start to ride that horse, ride that dragon, and do what you're gonna do in life, okay? And what tends to happen is people change in a good way or a bad way. And typically, when you are trying to make it, okay, you will be perceived as cringe if you tell your drinking buddies, if you tell your going out buddies, if you tell your sports friends, hey, I can't make it today. I have to get some work done. I have to work on this project. I have to go to the gym. I have to get training in, okay? It's not gonna come across too pretty, sunshine and rainbows and flowers. Why? It challenges their ego. In other words, the more successful you become and the more you grow as a person and the more you start to sprout up and become a magnificent person, the more you challenge their ego, because at one point in history and time, you were both on the same level. But as time continued to progress, you kept growing and they stayed in the same place, possibly even got lower. So when they're looking up to you, they may think, who does he think he is? We used to play baseball together. We used to play football together. We used to be in the same class. Who does this guy think he is? Okay? It challenges their ego. It makes them feel insecure about themselves, because this was once a person they knew as an equal, now as a higher above. So keep that in mind. You will have a lot of haters, primarily from your hometown. This could even be some relatives. This can be some old friends, some old buddies that you said, hey, we're gonna go to the grave together. We're gonna ride this out. Things change. And when you want to grow and when you want to make it, you're gonna step on some toes, especially those around you. Because if you have to break out of your circle and break out of your comfort zone, typically that means you have to go through some of the people that have been surrounding you since day one. So, number 2, you and everyone you know will be dead in 100 years. Make your mark. Okay? So, there's been more dead, believe it or not, fun fact, there's more dead people than there is living people. People come and go every single day. You know, when you really think about it, you yourself are a sand on the beach in the universe, okay? You are one grain of sand in the entire beach of the universe. Such a small mark, such a short amount of time. And so is everyone else you know. No one gets an exception from this. No one gets an easy way out. No one makes it out alive. So, remember, at all times, remind yourself every day, you will die, and everyone else will die as well. Not in a negative way, but in a very realistic way. So, why does that relate back to it's cringe until you make it? Well, that relays back primarily because what you may think you are doing is cringe, or if someone says you're cringe, or if someone says, hey, you're cringe because you're doing something you want to be doing, and it's primarily getting you to where you want to be, it's not going to matter, because they're going to be dead, you're going to be dead, and that judgment, that opinion will die with them, okay? Everyone, it's inevitable, guys, and the time here is short. Okay, you always have to remind yourself, and everyone that could be calling you cringe, or you may. So there's 2 types here: people that you may perceive that are perceiving you as cringe, or the people that are actually perceiving you as cringe. Both of those people will be dead, And so will you. So it doesn't matter. So you have to take them out of your mind, throw them out, okay? Number 3, okay? There will never be a hater doing better than you, okay? Now, this may be a challenging thing to process sometimes because sometimes haters are vicious. Sometimes haters will come for personal attacks, personal blows. They may say, hey, you know, your eye looks a little funny. You know, they may say something kind of personal. They like to hit it where it hurts, okay? Some haters are really good at it, okay? Because they're in a world of negativity and pain and suffering. Now, you have to remember, okay? Haters hate themselves more than anyone else. And they may mask it. They may hide it, okay? They may spend the entire day hating on people, hating on you. But when they go to bed at night, and when they look at themselves in the mirror, and when they perceive themselves, they are not happy with who they are and the life they're living, okay? And in a sense, as a better person, if you are growing as a person, if you are making it, okay, you have to almost have pity for these people. The people that will be in your comment sections hating on you with anonymous profile pictures, okay? People from around you, from your hometown. Again, relaying back to point number 1, they will be hating on you too. They are not happy with themselves, and you have to pity them. As another human being that is going through suffering, they do not have the emotional intelligence or have yet to discover it to break that spell that they are in. And a lot of times people will go to the grave with this hate and anger, and it is not a way to live, okay? And a lot of times too, relaying back, if you really want to dive a little further, it comes from things like they were hated on when they wanted to make it, okay? And now they want to continue this cycle. Hey, you know, hey, someone hated on me when I tried to do it. Screw you too, okay? That's no good. And if you are a hater, I highly suggest you do some inner work, some inner healing, okay? So, moving on to point number 4, okay? We're gonna get into some positives now because we don't wanna be all negative on that matter, okay? So, 4, mentality forces trust in self plus intuition builds belief, okay? So this mentality right here, it's impossible to make it if you don't believe in yourself, okay? And this mentality, if you wake up every single day, okay, and you are ready to walk into the open field of the haters firing at you with arrows and bullets coming down, raining hell on you, if you are willing to wake up every single day and walk into this field and say, here I am, bring it on, okay? Every single day you say, here I am, and bring it on. What's gonna happen is slowly over time, this mentality will absorb into you. It will absorb into your soul. Your soul will adopt this mentality of, I don't care what anyone thinks because I trust the direction that I am leading myself in, okay? Trust in self is one of the most important things a human being could possibly have. If you don't trust yourself, if you have thoughts in your head, I'm so dumb, okay? When you say things to yourself, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I can't do that, it will keep you down forever and you'll never make it, okay? But if you want to make it, you have to believe, okay? You have to, again, build belief, okay? You have to trust yourself. You have to envision something greater than what you are right now. What you are right now has not made it yet, and you have to be cringe to make it. You have to go through the cringe to make it, okay? So, essentially, all right, diving a little further here, build belief in yourself. And how do you do this? So now you may be wondering, Sherpa Pat, how do I build belief in myself? It seems, look, can we dive a little further? Absolutely, my friend. Yes, we can. How do you build belief in yourself? By doing the things you're gonna say, you're gonna do, okay? So if you say you're gonna wake up early, wake up early. If you say you're gonna, make your bed, make your bed. If you say you're gonna work out, work out. If you say you're gonna, lift, run, meal prep, diet, read, write, okay? Start socializing more. You have to do it. And it may be tough to, right off the rip, if you're someone that doesn't work out or someone that is kind of new to self-growth and self-development, it may be a little tough to do that right off the rip. And I highly, highly, highly suggest you start off with small wins, okay? Small wins are the best way to kind of build that momentum and start building that little baby belief. You gotta have I'll call them this, ready? belief bricks, okay? So you have to build these belief bricks, every single little one. It can start off as small as a little Lego piece, but the more they stack up, the more you put these little Lego piece build belief blocks, the more these little Lego belief blocks that you keep stacking, eventually at some point, you're gonna know how to manage bigger blocks. And now maybe you're on to Duplo, the child version of Lego. Now you're on bigger blocks, and you keep going. Now you're on red cement blocks. And now you get cinder blocks, and now you get giant limestone pyramid blocks. Okay, that is how it works. You have to build belief by actually doing the things you're gonna say. And the only way you're gonna make it is by doing the things you're gonna say, okay? So this mentality where it's like, it's cringe until you make it. People, I don't care. So again, the mentality. I don't care that people may perceive me as cringe because I have to make it. And how am I gonna make it? Because I believe in myself and I trust, again, going back to trust now, I trust I have the capability to actually make it. And I trust myself that I'm going to show up on the days I don't want to show up and do the things I say I'm going to do. I have trust in myself, okay? And again, the same way you kind of build belief, you build trust, okay? So that's small trust. So like, again, it's a great way to start. So if you want something right now, make your bed every morning. Make your bed every morning. It psychologically, it subconsciously tells you that, hey, we care and we trust ourselves, okay? It is a great place to be in your relationship. And sometimes it will be tested. Sometimes you will be thrown off balance. That is natural. That will happen, okay? So in those cases, just remember, always get back on the wagon as fast as you possibly can, because, you miss a workout for one day, that happens, okay? It happens to me. It happens to the greatest athletes. It happens if you miss one once in a while. But you miss the second one, that's a slippery slope, my friend. So just again, build belief, okay? This mentality will do that for you. Now, the last part, okay? Leads to discovery of one's purpose and achieve freedom, okay? So essentially, make it is freedom. Make it, so I'm sure at the start of this video, at the start of my lecture here, you may assume that making it could just be about money, being on the yacht in Miami and having a victory lap, but not necessarily, okay? Everyone has their own version of making it. But I would challenge you to maybe perceive that making it isn't just about money and the financial advances and wins that you'll have. Making it would also be being fully oneself, being completely you, not based off anyone else, anyone's ideas of you. You are purely you, aligned with your purpose. Nothing holds you back. You don't hold yourself back because you trust yourself, okay? So essentially, you will find your purpose. And a lot of times, so growing up, I remember I heard a lot of friends say, what is my purpose? That's the question. That is the biggest question of all time. What is my purpose? And it's so hard to kind of process that. It's so hard to kind of imagine, how am I going to figure this out? Especially for you younger audience here. And anyone at any age can wonder, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Sometimes it may change too. But you'll never find it out by sitting on the couch and pondering and thinking about it. You find it by doing things and trying to make it. You find your purpose by following where you, deep down in your inner soul, following where you want to go, okay? There's a phenomenal quote. I love music. I'm a big music guy. And there's a quote from Kenny Loggins, okay? It's a song. It says, I'm gonna do it right, okay? And in this song, there's a quote that I used to wake up every single day and say this to myself when I was frustrated, when I didn't know where I was going in life, when I didn't know what I wanted to do. The quote goes, just get to doing and it'll come to you. Just get to doing and it'll come to you, okay? I'm gonna do it right. That right there, you need momentum. You need inertia. You need to get to doing and it'll come to you. It finds you. You don't find your purpose in a way that you may think you should, or the way that people may have said you should. You find your purpose by following your intuition. You find your purpose by trusting the journey that you're on. The purpose is the journey, and you find that and you discover it, and then it makes sense. So in this whole process here, okay, it's cringe until you make it. So this could be going to the gym for the first time and you're nervous about going on the machines, okay? And I'm gonna relay back early in the video here. 2 key points, okay? So the first point was the people you may perceive as perceiving you as cringe, right? Chances are if you're at the gym or if you're starting somewhere, a lot of times people have this spotlight effect. So you may think everyone's watching you. You may think everyone's judging you. But in reality, how many, throughout the entire day, how much do you think about that one stranger that you saw passing by? The one time you see him and that's it. A lot of times people have the spotlight effect where they think that everyone's watching them at all points and everyone has something to say about them. But the truth is, okay, everyone's very absorbed in their own world. And everyone is very in their own head and their own perspective, okay? So that's the first thing to really keep in mind. If you are really just struggling with trying to get over the cringe, okay? The cringe is in your head. It's not always in the person you may think's head, okay? It's in your head. It's your idea of what their idea may be about you. Kind of a tongue twister, but you get the point. So that's the first one. And the second one is the people that actually do think you're cringe, which again, if you're starting off in the gym, don't even worry about it, okay? Because again, going back to number 3, there will never be a hater doing better than you. And if anyone is gonna hate on you for starting off, they hate themselves and they're insecure and they are doing it just based out of their own negative world. And you have to remember, be the better person, be the bigger person, and just let them be and pity them, okay? So guys, it's gonna be cringe until you make it. You're gonna have to go through not just the cringe of some people, some stray haters, okay? If you're gonna be doing content creation, they're gonna get them. It's not the same as going to the gym. You're gonna get some spankies with anonymous profile pictures with some hot shit to say, and that's okay, all right? Because again, they are never gonna be doing better than you, okay? So always remember that, all right? If you're gonna start running and you're worried that you can only run less than half a mile straight, you can only run for a minute straight and you have to walk, cool, do it. Because the only cringe that you may be perceiving is just in your head. So get out of your head, okay? So with all that being said, the 5 points, once again, 90% of hometown people don't want you to win because it challenges their ego. You and everyone you know will be dead in 100 years. Make your mark, okay? You only get one chance to do that. There will never be a hater doing better than you. Haters hate themselves. 4, mentality forces trust. Trust in self plus intuition builds belief. And 5, leads to the discovery of one's purpose that achieves freedom. Now guys, I'm gonna give you a little bonus one. You ready for this? Don't give a fuck about what other people think about you. Guys, just cringe until you make it. Go out there, make that happen, make your mark, and I wish you the best of luck, all right? Love, get after it, okay?